So when we've been doing a number of these conversations, obviously they lead on to us then providing a proposal.
Yes.
And I think, we were talking the other day, one of the things that me and my team have noticed recently, and you and I have a very healthy debate around this.
Healthy debate, Ben, if I think I know where we're going
Exactly.
here. Yeah.
But it comes down to the variances that we're seeing in the market of we're all meeting the same client. It's all the same business.
Yeah.
But when it comes to actually putting in a proposal and ultimately putting in a fee proposal for that,
yes,
why are we seeing such a variance between the firms that are putting in a number to deliver the work when it's arguably, theoretically, it's the same job to do? We've roughly all got the same level of costs. We should be all coming to the same conclusion if we're doing it right. But the bit that you and I speak about a lot is this variance from some being very low to some being very high and everything else in the middle.
Yes.
What's the answer?
So clients tell us that, potential clients tell us that we spend more time than other firms with them, typically through the proposal process. And that's because we want to make sure we get the scope absolutely nailed on, because the last thing I want to be doing at the end of an audit is having a difficult conversation because we didn't get the scope right. And the last thing my CFOs want me to be doing is coming back to them and say, oh, actually, we didn't get that scope right. So we spend an awful lot of time through that initial phase making sure that we understand what is the scope, what's involved. On any opportunity on any audit opportunity, an audit manager will work alongside our relationship partner, and they'll spend time maybe with a financial controller in the business, just really understand exactly some of the detail in terms of how the audit mechanics are going to work, so that we build a bottom-up budget that actually is, realistic in terms of how long it's going to take and what that pricing is. So we spend an awful lot of time making sure we get that scope right and get that pricing right. I know you and your team will often say, come on, Casey, surely we can do it for less than that. But it's really important in terms of, for the client and for ourselves that we scope those things. And we still hear anecdotally that, some firms will lowball and then come back and basically look to kind of build extras later on through that relationship.
Yeah, from a typical sales perspective, obviously we want to put something in incredibly attractive that makes it a no-brainer. But we do hear, we do hear from the clients that is a massive frustration.
Yes.
That they take a fee to the board, they'll say, look, we've got this opportunity, it's coming in at, 10-20% less than what everyone else is coming in at.
Yeah.
And then the add-ons start to appear as they go down the line. And I know that that's a frustration. So I think, we'll always continue to talk about these things, but I think the level of detail that we go into at that scoping process is important. And I think in today's market, where you want that level of certainty around any third-party costs going on, because a lot of it is driving. It's the reason why we're having so many conversations in the market at the moment, is because it feels that the fee that I'm being charged isn't necessarily reflective of the service that I'm receiving.
Yeah.
So the fee's going up, but the service is going down as a result of that. So to be able to deliver that level of certainty, I absolutely get. I think from my perspective, it's an interesting market where you've got competitors that, like you say, they are coming in very keen on those prices.
Yeah.
They are lowballing, and you kind of want to say to the CFO, either up front or during the process, saying, look, if it looks too good to be true,
it probably is.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, for me, the relationship starts with being, transparent and open, and therefore, in terms of going through that scoping process, it's sharing that again with the CFO in terms of this is what the assumptions that we've made, checking in that makes sense, because it's kind of how you want to work going forward in terms of just doing a proper job in terms of scoping.
Absolutely. And I was just talking to, I think we were talking to Danny a few months ago as well about having a quality audit as well that's being delivered, especially for businesses that may be looking at some type of sort of transaction or exit or event 2 or 3 years down the line. And I think we're saying, look, you don't want to be having the cheapest audit that then actually, once you get into the due diligence of a potential sale, it just uncovers all of these problems and these issues of, that require even more work to sort of rectify as a result. And I think you and Danny both had examples where we've taken on clients who initially went for the cheapest option out there, that when it actually came to them to do some sorts of transactions, it caused all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, exactly. In terms of just having that thoroughness, in terms of, an audit, we're here to do a proper job. It's not around just, absolutely.
Absolutely. So do you think, where do you think in terms of audit fees, mid-market's attitude towards audit fees in particular, do you think that's changed since COVID? Do you think that people are feeling more comfortable with paying more for an audit, or are they looking to commoditize more?
I don't think so. I think for me, in terms of clients, if you're delivering a good service, you're providing that continuity, you're delivering on what you promised, then actually there isn't what I'm seeing a desire to kind of cut that. It's around the messages that I hear is, when clients are choosing to move, it's because there's something else there. It's not purely about the price. It's around the whole service that's being delivered.
Absolutely, yeah. I'd say the same. In out of all of those interviews and meetings that we've had over the last few years, it's the price that is kind of like the catalyst for them to want to look elsewhere. But it's driven by the fact that they're just feeling dissatisfied a lot of the time and saying, I'm paying X for this work to be delivered, and they're not even returning my call. Or I don't know why I'm staying with them, because I'm getting pretty much a new audit team every year. From the continuity piece as well. So I think you're right. It is something which is, I think first and foremost, we always ask the question of how important is fee in the decision making process if you do want to move.
When we were with Jim the other week, and we were talking about kind of those decision making around choosing to move to a new firm to deliver audit. It's not just about saving money. It's around kind of 5 things, isn't it? It's saving time. It's around delivering some real value in terms of insight from that. And we look after so many businesses in the mid-market that we can provide some real, because we're specialising in looking after mid-market businesses. There's we've got a raft of experience that we can bring and share and benchmark, in terms of a new client coming on board, in terms of how that compares, be it size of finance team, quality of controls, all of that. And, so it isn't just price.
Absolutely. And if you look at the businesses that we're working with, whether it's private equity backed or AIM listed, for example, they're all those finance teams are all looking at big strategic sort of deliverables that they're focusing on.
Yes.
You don't want the audit to always be the main distraction to the other things that they want to be doing. So by having a firm that can come in and have that degree of confidence that
properly planned, and thinking about the the finance team's time, and actually saving them time is really important. As one of those decision making.
Absolutely. I also had a conversation recently with the CFO she was literally just at her wit's end, because the incumbent firm of auditors had complete radio silence up until right the last minute, and then just had this flurry of requests.
Oh goodness.
And a lot of the stuff that what she was saying is, for the size of business that we were, it didn't feel like it was necessarily relevant, in that space.
How do you mean?
Just, it felt very much box ticking exercises, what she was saying. So I was being asked questions that kind of felt just unnecessary, bearing in mind they were a 50 million turnover private equity backed business. It felt like there were some crazy kind of information requests.
I've had similar examples of that, where certainly what I've been finding with some clients where they've moved to CP from another firm is that there's a central team that come late into the process and are actually then asking a raft of questions that aren't part of the they're a centralised, so it's not part of the audit partner or
So
the
they're not
actual audit team.
client-facing.
So they're not client facing, and then it comes at the end with a load of sort of technical questions before the audit partner is allowed to issue that audit opinion. That doesn't happen in CP. No. So you know, in terms of the team that you meet are the team that are delivering your audit and are going to sign off that audit for you.
But that centralised team, is that just an internal risk
approach
that they've adopted?
That firm has chosen, that audit firm has chosen to adopt. Yeah. Whereas, you know, we very much believe in, you know, it's the team that you meet are the team that are looking after you. Sure. And therefore there isn't of course, you know, in terms of, say, our AIM listed businesses, we have a second partner review because from a quality perspective, and some of those that are higher risk, but that's all planned in and discussed, and there will be questions, but at least the client's expecting that. They know that that's part of that audit team to have a technical partner in addition to the audit team that they're seeing. But no, it's quite different to some of the anecdotes that I hear from how clients are experienced working with other firms. Yeah.